It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Hey folks, I'm in a good mood today. I'm going to give money away. I'm giving scholarship money away. Yes, well, $6,000, maybe $12,000, maybe $18,000 in scholarship money. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Greater Hazleton Area Civic Partnership. Each year they have this great scholarship program. It's available to you. The deadline's May the 13th. And we're going to learn a little bit more about it today, folks. But it's a great opportunity for you to get involved. Bob Skulsky, who is the Executive Director of the Greater Hazleton Area Civic Partnership, is here, along with my good friend Dr. John Madden, who is the Chairman of the Scholarship Committee. So I'm giving money away here. I mean, $6,000, $12,000, maybe $18,000. All depends on how much money we can get in, correct?
Absolutely.
Bob, the Greater Hazleton Area Civic Partnership, I know we've gone over this before, but sometimes people like to be, there's so many things happening at the Chamber building and so many things happening throughout the area. I think the partnership is, again, one of many great things we have going here. What is that involved with, the Civic Partnership?
Well, the partnership was formed back in 1998 when a number of concerned citizens wanted to see what could be done to make our area a better place to live, learn, work, worship, and play, which is our mission statement. And after the completion of a Zogby study, a number of recommendations came out. One of them was we need a scholarship program to help industries in Humboldt and generally throughout the Greater Hazleton area. We needed to keep our young people within Hazleton instead of having everyone move out to the big cities. There's a lot of good wages in the Hazleton area, etc. But the Scholarship Committee is just one of the committees. Another one a lot of people know about is the Greater Hazleton Rails and Trails, where we get over 40,000 visits a year up at the trail. And we continuously keep expanding it till eventually it's going to be part of the East Coast Trail Network, connecting up with the Delaware-Lehigh National Heritage Corridor and other trails. But then throughout the years right now we have the Black Creek Township Alumni Association active. They're developing a park down at Black Creek Township. And throughout the years we had a number of different committees that formed and then went away after they achieved their mission. The Community Assessment Committee, if you remember, our last Zogby study was funded through the Civic Partnership. Typically, our state representative when they have someone come to them looking for formation of, a 501c3, where they wanted to get a single project done or something to better the community, rather than having them go through everything that you have to do to become a 501c3, legal cost, etc., time spent doing it, they would come to us and we'd act as the umbrella organization. Our board would decide whether if it fit our mission, the new group, and if it did fit our mission, then we would take them under our umbrella until they got their job completed, and then, take on another one.
There's so many things that we have going for us in the area, and John and I were talking about this prior to the show, is that sometimes we have some naysayers, saying the town will never be what it was. Well, we know it won't be, but it could always be better. In your, civic partnership, a lot of things are done that maybe, through the standard speaker, through our news, we are able to, expose that. But I think that there are many opportunities for people to get involved in a positive way to help our area. And you have a lot of opportunities, don't you?
No, yes, 100%. You're right at that. Right now we have over 250 volunteers in the various committees on the Civic Partnership. Now, a lot of them don't go out and dig ditches up at the Rails and Trails or help develop the new picnic area or whatever, but they'll help out financially every year. They'll send $10, $20, $30 to help us keep going with our projects. Same thing with the Scholarship Committee and the other committees. I work with a lot of great volunteers, and without the volunteers, we would not have the progress we're showing with the Civic Partnership. We wouldn't have the scholarship funding every year to go out. We wouldn't have the Rails and Trails or a host of other activities.
In the areas right now, where are you looking for volunteers?
We always need volunteers, and especially young volunteers. A lot of our volunteers right now are up in age like me, and we need more young volunteers. Now, I know it's difficult for a young volunteer to bringing up a family. They have to work. They may be studying at night, whatever. But we need more young people to join us. But the Rails of Trails always has a host of volunteer activities, a scholarship committee, Black Creek Township, just to name our active committees right now. And then just for office support, we only have one part-time director at the Civic Partnership, so and I'm not all that proficient. I used to be in computer technology, but it's slipping. So, for the social media, the websites, and the Facebook and all that other stuff, we need help in the office. So if somebody wants to come and help, further our web page, that would be great, because we're always looking for help in that area. So there's a lot of things people could do, even from their house. If we needed a new web design or something, someone could do that from their house and then email it to us.
Bob, since you started, okay, and how many years have you been with us now?
Since I retired, it's been 17 years.
So, all right, so you got 17 years. And, you're involved with a lot of activities happening in the town. I had Kevin O'Donnell and Joe Latira on the show. We're talking about, the developments with the expansion and what Can Do is doing. And there's always pros and cons to a lot of things, when you're making progress. One of the things we talk about is that, when you're trying to attract businesses and whomever to the area, you like to have an area that is, conducive to, environmental friendly education, entertainment, etc. And these are things I think are always important to attract business. Okay, we're always saying we want to keep our kids in town. Well, this is the scholarship program John will talk about. We're doing a taping here. You have your wife tell your wife you'll be home for supper at 5 o'clock. Okay. But no, when we're talking about, getting people involved in staying here, we have to have the businesses to have them stay here. It's easy to say we want our people to stay here, but we want to have them have opportunities. Now, I don't know all the details, but I would assume, since you've been here, that there have been a number of opportunities available in the greater Hazleton area. Have you seen that, Bob?
Oh, definitely. When I look at Hazleton, being a lifelong resident and seeing Hazleton's up and downs, we're definitely on the upswing right now. I mean, all the things that are being accomplished with downtown Hazleton, with the Broad Street project accomplishment, with George Hayden and others, with the D'Angelo brothers moving, down into the Marco building. I see so many improvements. And just getting back to the Rails of Trails, I see a lot of people coming from other places just to visit that amenity that we have in town. There's geocaches up on a trail. They come to do geocache searches and a host of other things. But as you were saying, one of the most important things that I think the scholarship program does is, when you're looking at Can Do and others, is having the trained people, technical people that we need in the area to keep the manufacturing plants going, and the logistical plants, and all the plants in general going out at Humboldt. We need to have that young, educated workforce in the technical fields here before somebody's going to move in. They want to know that the people are here that they could hire.
While we're on the Rails of Trails, you have something coming up April the 30th, a big event. What's going on?
Well, we have a garage sale on April 30th. The insurance, being we're a 501c3, we need to carry liability insurance for everyone that uses the trail, and we need to have liability insurance as a 501c3, and that's getting very expensive. So on April 30th, the committee is having a yard sale up at the trail. It's Saturday, April 30th, starts at 9 a.m. And you could donate items to the Rails of Trails committee that morning, or they could call the chamber, and we'll pick the items up for the benefit of the Rails of Trails, the insurance in particular. Or if you want to have a table on your own to sell your own goods for your own benefit, you could do that too. For $10, you could rent a space. For $20, you could get a space with a table and a chair. And last year was our first yard sale up there, and it was very, very popular. Everything sold. Yeah. There wasn't anything left, which I was worried about. That's April 30th. Jumping back to Earth Week, April 18th, we have the MMI Interact Club coming up to the trail to plant 30 trees using a new technology that's called the water box technology to see how it improves the growth of yearling seedling trees. We also have American Eagle. Thank God for American Eagle employees. This is the second year they're coming out. And Wednesday, they're going to have over 20 people up at the trail helping out with various things we have to do every year. Cut back brush, dig ditches, clear drainage pipes, developed a new picnic area that we're developing out off the parking lot. And on Friday, April 22nd, which is Earth Day, we have 106 American Eagle employees that are volunteering up at the trail. That's that's great news. That's the kind of news we want to hear.
Yeah, when you talk about volunteers, excuse me, we have a wealth of knowledge with senior citizens that are out there today. Because I think if you want to solve the problems in the country, just talk to senior citizens. They've lived it. And I think that's the most great amount of assets that we have that I think we don't utilize as much as we should. What I'm getting is that there are so many people that may be retired, that can offer so much in terms of the abilities that they have learned throughout the year, in volunteering. So I ask you, seniors or whomever did you have, you were in the defense business, okay, he was, in education. There's a lot of talent out there, Bob, that when you talk about creativities, that if we could only tap into our seniors, believe me, I think we'd solve a lot of problems. Folks, I'm talking to Bob Skulsky. I'm going to get to John Madden in a second. Bob Skulsky, Executive Director of the Greater Hazleton Area Civic Partnership. Now, do yourself a favor. I know sometimes, when we have shows like this, we get people saying, Sammy, I know you're trying, but the town is this. I'm telling you, our area is growing in a nice way. We're starting to see progress with our crime going down a little bit, and we're starting to see a lot of positive things happening. We just need you to jump on the bandwagon and say, let's give it a shot. So I ask you, if you need to know more about the Civic Partnership and what they're all about, just call them at the Chamber. It's 455-1509, and you can get a great opportunity of seeing what's happening, and we want your talent. We come back, we'll talk to John Madden, Dr. John Madden. I call him John. He says, listen, I'm a doctor. Will you call me doctor? Okay. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Remember, 24/7, you can watch all of our programs, 25 local programs reproduced on ssptv.com. My email, sam@ssptv.com. And for those of you who are watching us in service to electric cable, if you have an HD set, go to 513. We're HD, and I want to thank the many of you that have called us and says how great it is when you're looking at HD. Particularly if you saw the last episode of The Girls that they did at Mohegan Sun, it was just, the HD quality was just phenomenal, as well as all the other shows are. 190 in Pottsville on Comcast, 190 now in the Lackawanna area, every Saturday and Sunday from 8 to 12 p.m. on Channel 190. We're presenting local programs now in the Lackawanna area, and of course the Wilkes-Barre, Kingston, and Mountaintop area, we're in Channel 92. My guest today, Bob Skulsky, Executive Director of Greater Hazleton Area Civic Partnership, and Dr. John Madden, who is the Chairman of the Scholarship Program. The good doctor, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
That's good. You're getting younger looking.
I work at it.
All right, so then you're the Chairman of the Scholarship Committee, okay? Let's talk about what this scholarship is, requirements, and how great it is for the area.
Okay. One thing we often don't talk about with the scholarship is that students, secondary school students or earlier, as well as adults, typically avoid technical careers. They don't go into them. There's been a shortage of technically skilled people in this country for decades. This is not a new issue. It's not confined to Hazleton. This arose in Hazleton as a particular problem here, but it's actually a national problem. And kids are missing opportunities for good careers. And there are a lot of good careers at all different levels of the technical spectrum, starting out with people who have certificate program training, not even associate degree, to associate degree training, baccalaureate degree, graduate, and so on. There are career opportunities at all levels of technology. And we're trying to encourage students to look at these areas and to go into them. And that's one of the main reasons for this scholarship, is to encourage students to look at these careers in the first place, to open up career opportunities for them. It's a benefit of the students. And when they get that training, they're very mobile. They can go anywhere they want to in this world. And they can make good living, and they have stable occupations. And in today's world, that's getting scarcer and scarcer to find a kind of stable employment where you're really sought after by employers. So that's really important. What got money behind this in the first place, however, was a man who couldn't find a technician to keep his plant running. He was looking for an industrial maintenance technician. Those are the people think of maintenance as kind of like you're sweeping up stuff. Actually, you don't want stuff on the floor to begin with. You're not cleaning up messes. You don't want messes to happen. And these are people who keep machines from breaking down. They keep things from stopping. They keep the wheels turning and so on. They keep things running, and it's a very clean occupation, actually, and it requires some intelligence, too. And he couldn't find people like that in this area. It only takes less than a year's training to get to that position if you have, say, a high school background, to be a qualified industrial maintenance technician. So there was a shortage there. But up and down the technical spectrum, including medical technologies we're looking at for a hospital. And that includes nursing, a radiographic technician, say. So there's a lot of occupations that they can track to with this scholarship. The hook is that when they sign up for the scholarship, they have to agree to come back here and work for 3 years once they finish. And if they don't, they have to pay back the scholarship. The scholarship itself is up to $3,000 a year for up to 2 years, depending on what the program they're in costs. That's likely to cover most of the tuition, say, at a community college. It's going to be a big help for somebody who wants to go ahead and do a career like this. We're hoping that in 3 years they're going to put down roots and they're going to want to stay here and stay in the community. Typically, young children, young people, and not just in Hazleton either, throughout this state of Pennsylvania, kids who grew up in small towns in Pennsylvania, including my own, cannot wait to get out of town. When my kids were young, we were living in York, which is a fairly prosperous town. It's attractive. They could not wait to get out of that town. And they went to San Francisco right away. Neither of them live there anymore, but they tried that for a few years. And kids just want to move on. We're trying to encourage a few to stay, and when they stay for a few years, develop some ties to the workplace, maintain their social ties, get more involved in the community. We're hoping they'll stay here and live here and make this a place where they want to live and play and work and worship.
How is this, you started in 2001, right?
We started in 2001.
Okay. And so since 2001, looking at maybe 14, 15 years, how has it been, how successful has this program been?
I think it's been very successful. We have, actually we have trouble finding good applicants. We have trouble finding good applicants, and we have trouble getting financial support both. We could give out more scholarships than we do if we had more money. But we've given out at least one every one of those years. And sometimes as many as 3. But we go out and campaign for applicants. Students don't somehow, I don't know what it is, but don't take advantage of a lot of scholarship opportunities that are out there.
Maybe they don't, some of them don't know, if they're available. It's interesting that you said about the person who needed a maintenance person. There are probably some manufacturing plants, or like, for example, let's say I needed a technical production person, all right, that's necessary for my production. And if I couldn't get one, okay, especially bringing people from out of town here, I would say to you, look, I'm willing to give you so much money to offer someone to go train for this. Yeah. I think that's a great opportunity for a person that's running a business or a management or whatever. If they're in need of certain things, saying, look, how about if we donate, because they're really investing in their own company. I think that's what this gentleman was looking for when he said, look, I'm willing to contribute and pay for someone to go and get trained. Am I correct?
Well, actually, he put up money from his own family foundation and said, set up rules for it. He participated in it too. And, we'll put that out there for the community, but he saw it as a community need that needed to be met more than his own. But we have had 2 companies that actually have funded people going through the program where they were interested in that person.
Yeah, I think.
And I know at least one company, probably more than one, actually will pay for their employees. They don't need our scholarship, in fact. They'll pay for our employees to go to school to get that training. But they have trouble finding people to do it.
Yeah. They're out there. Now, okay, is it limited to only a person who is, graduated from high school, who was going, what's the age here?
Any age.
Any age.
People from any age can work, and if somebody who's 45 years old decides that she wants to change her career, she wants to go into nursing, she can apply for this scholarship. That's here for her.
We have a lot of people in their 50s, okay, that probably are losing their job to younger people in the workforce, or maybe 60s or whatever, and sometimes they give up because they're saying, I can't be competitive. But yet I think with the knowledge that these people have, it's just amazing. You just can't buy that experience, I mean, with all due respect to young people, but I think there's such a talent out there. If you're in, so let's say a person's 55, 60, they've been replaced or whatever, still the opportunities available to them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And some of those people have been, in my experience, some of them really very productive.
Now, you have a score here, okay, as to applications. People are scored in different areas, right? Mm-hmm. Now, so explain this to me.
Well, if I can look at a sheet, I'll tell you what
So I know what I'm getting involved with.
Okay, they're going to tell us what their track record is. We want to know they're going to succeed in this program.
Okay.
When they come in, we want to know they're going to go through the scholarship. Okay. So we'll look at how did you do academically, and we award that a certain number of points. What's your course of study? Is it technology, the kind of thing we're looking for? We're not going to fund somebody. I love philosophy, but we're not going to fund somebody to study philosophy. That's not what it's about.
Yeah.
They write an essay. Saying, which we're looking there for signs that they're probably going to stay in this area, have some interest in staying here, and that they have some career goals that make sense. Mm-hmm. Some people are not too goal-directed, and we're looking for some sign of that. What's been their track record in employment and civic involvement? Have they done that kind of thing? Have they been involved? Have they been engaged? Mm-hmm. Financial need we count. It's not a whole lot, but we do count it. And do they live in the area? Mm-hmm. They don't have to live in the area. They can come from outside, but we give them a couple of points. If they live here, they'll be more likely to stay. So
generally, you're looking for a person who is committed to what they want to do. When you say academic information, well, let's assume I'm in my 50s. I haven't been in school for a while, but I am in the workforce. How does that apply?
You went to school once.
Okay.
You went to school once, and you have records, and we'll want to see them.
Okay. Yeah.
And you may have done things. A lot of people have had education after school too. You may have done something. You may have taken, I don't know, what courses here or there, whatever. Yeah. They may not be college courses. We'd like to know about that.
Sure. Now, when these people succeed, either a 1-year, 2-year, or a 4-year program, the typical maybe would be 2 years, correct? Or 1 year?
That's what we would think. Yeah, most frequently it's 2 years. So we've started a number of people in baccalaureate degree programs too, the 4-year programs.
So these people could come out, they can earn anywhere from 25 to 70,000 or then some.
Or more, yeah.
Or more, okay. And now, how does one get involved to get an application or to, find out that they could qualify for the 6,000?
That's easy. If they're in high school, their high school counselor has a copy of our application because I've sent one to every school district in this area. And I've talked to the counselors also, one-to-one. We also give them posters to put up in the schools. It's available at the Chamber website. You can go to the Chamber and go from there to the Civic Partnership. And Civic Partnership, you can go and you can find our scholarship application online. I'd be happy to send it to them if they want to get in touch with me directly. Let's see, jmadden325@gmail.com. I'll be happy to send anybody an application who requested from me.
JMAD?
JMADDEN.
Yep.
At 325 at gmail.com.
325 at
gmail.com.
gmail.com. All right, folks, so Madden, Madden, 325 at gmail.com. We're talking to Bob Skulsky, Executive Director, Greater Hazleton Area Civic Partnership, and of course, Dr. Madden, who is the chairman of the scholarship program. Call the chamber, 455-1509. Get information. We'll be back right after this. Thanks for staying with us, folks. I'm giving money away, $6,000, maybe $12,000, maybe $18,000 of the scholarship program. Bob Skulsky from the Chambers here and Dr. Madden from the scholarship program. Just briefly, events happening with the Civic Partnership. We got April 30th. What's going on?
April 30th, we have our yard sale up at the trail. Anybody could come up to the yard sale and, rent a spot. For Earth Week, April 18th, we have MMI Interact students coming up to plant trees on the rails of trails. On April 20th, that Wednesday, we have American Eagle coming in for a work party at the trail. And then the work party of all work parties we have on Earth Day, April 22nd, that Friday, where we have 106 employees coming from American Eagle to help at the trail.
That's going to be a fun day.
That's going to be a fun day.
And Dr. Madden, we're talking about the Civic Partnership again. How does someone get involved with getting this, the money for the partnership?
How do they apply for the scholarship?
Yeah.
All I do is fill out the form. It's all self-explanatory, and get it to us. If they have questions, give us a call at the chamber. Give Bob a call, Civic Partnership at the chamber. His offices are in the chamber. We'll be happy to answer them. Be happy to help them if they have any questions about the form.
Well, I think it's a great opportunity, folks. They've been doing this since 2001, and it's a great opportunity for those of you who maybe in 40s or 50s want to give it a challenge, or if you have children in high school or whatever. A great opportunity to find out about the scholarship program. 455-1509 is the Chamber's number. If you have any questions, please give them a call. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.